last time you were on, we were talking about your McLaren, the flooded McLaren that you were about to undertake. And so I popped over to your channel, and the fact there was a part 13 tells me there were issues.
Yeah. So it turns out it's really hard to do a rebuild on a car that was underwater, especially a car that costs like $2 million.
Nobody knew that.
Yeah. Nobody could. This was an unknowable fact. But yeah, it's been going pretty well. I still have most of my sanity, and it's been going all right. Hopefully, it should be running and driving in the next few months or so.
Here's the most important question.
Date inside.
Here's the most important question. Content aside, would this have been a profitable venture? Like
no.
if you were
Okay. No, not even close. Not even close. If you're trying to flip this thing for a profit, you are out of your mind. Like there's no perceivable way this would be a profitable venture. Yeah. But as a content perspective, it's pretty good.
As you move along through the process, do you ever talk to like the computer guy or the electronic guy you consult with somebody and they're like, wait, you're doing what now?
Yeah, that's mostly everybody. So everybody that you say, hey, I bought this car that should have no business, running again. Everybody's reaction is the same. It's like, good luck, because this seems not doable at all. So, I've consulted. It's a McLaren P1. So it's
picture, please, Zach.
Yeah. So it's one of the they call them the hypercar holy trinity. It was coined by Jeremy Clarkson. Back in the 2010s, there were these three cars. So the Ferrari LaFerrari, the Porsche 918, and then the McLaren P1. They were hybrid supercars, and they were super bespoke. They were like $1 million each, and they had a ton of horsepower. So the McLaren had like 900 horsepower. They were all around there.
Show me a dry one.
So that's my car.
Literally your car?
That's literally my car.
Zach, can we see one where we could see the rest of it?
Yeah, so that's my car.
Actually, fun. Now that we can see
better
it
now.
Yeah.
You have a little
that car's ruined.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just new windshield.
Needs a windshield, Kyle.
Yeah. So this car.
So I have questions, lots of them, because unfortunately I didn't have time to catch up on your content, but I do plan to now because you've gone so deep into this. I'll have a lot to binge. So you're trying to make it just as it should have been. You're trying to replace everything and make everything work, or are you just trying to get this thing to go?
Oh no, we're trying to make it the fastest McLaren in the world.
You can outrun the mildew
That's the
smell.
reaction. That's the reaction that everybody gives you.
This is the plot
on land or water,
man.
Yeah,
yes, we have the technology. We could rebuild
the fastest seafaring vessel. Yes. No. So we right now the fastest McLaren in the world is the McLaren Speedtail, and it's meant for top speed. And I always thought that this car should be the spiritual successor to the McLaren F1, like the supercar in the 90s, the fastest car in the world. It did like 240 something miles an hour. I think that we could make this car the fastest by a significant margin. So like doing the math on what we're planning to do on this car, we'll hopefully get to 260, 270 miles an hour. Now, that's the McLaren F1. That is the fastest car in the 90s, and it held that title for like a decade. Naturally aspirated V12, very, very lightweight. It had about 600 horsepower, 600 something horsepower. And it was, it was a world beater. And now that car is about $20 million. So I can't really afford it.
How fast do the fastest production cars go now?
That's interesting. So the fastest, when you talk about the fastest, like the record, you have to do it forwards and backwards. So it's like a Guinness Book of World Records thing.
Oh yeah.
So if you do forwards and backwards, the fastest now is, I believe, in between the Koenigsegg Agera RS at like 277 miles an hour. Or the SSC Tuatara. See, the SSC Tuatara is like this very, very bespoke car. I think they have like one of them, and they plan to, build more of them. And theoretically, it should have gone more than 300, but they never got that far because you start running out of road real quick. But I didn't want to be the fastest car in the world. I want to be the fastest McLaren. So the fastest McLaren right now is 250. I think we can beat that. But even then, that's an insane speed. Like I've never even been 200
it's
miles
very
an hour.
dangerous.
Much less
Are you going to drive it to break the record?
No.
You're going to hire someone to.
Yes. So the person that I got to drive it is Ben Collins, who was Top Gear's former Stig. And
that's sweet.
Like we became friends in the last year. And he's one of the nicest guys in the world. And I was like, hey, do you want to drive a McLaren, like really stupid fast? And, a car that I put together. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. He's like, he's one of these, let's just send it dudes. So I like that about him. But I don't think I'd know what to look out for when the car's doing 250. It's like, is that a bad noise? Is that it's sort of like, your transmission exploding. It's like, is that a bad grinding or a good grinding,
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just pushing it to the limit.
Where do you go
the Stig would know.
So where do you do that drive at?
So we can rent out. The good thing about it is me, being in Florida, I'm really close to Cape Canaveral, and Cape Canaveral has the shuttle landing strip, which is it's a 3 mile long arrow straight, and they can rent it out to people. It's expensive, but they can rent it out to people.
Is 3 miles enough?
It should be. I mean, there have been some speed records set there. So, I mean, it's 3 miles. So it's like 2 end to end, but then you have to have a braking zone. You really have to have something that has a ton of power.
You need a fucking parachute, bro.
The brakes on this thing are pretty good. Yeah.
Cool. I would hope so. Well, that sounds ridiculous. So how much, remind us, how much did you pay for the waterlogged $2 million car?
Yes.
Maybe?
So I got it at a really deep discount.
A steal.
So so I paid $575,000. Now I didn't have that
basically
kind of money.
Free.
It's basically, I'd be stupid not to get it. I didn't have that kind of money. So I asked one of my friends that, has some money. Do you know anybody that would be dumb enough to loan me $500,000? And he said, yes. So apparently he started banks for fun. And then he was like, hey, I have this bank that is like, totally about it. And, they'll give you the money and whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I give an application, and in 3 days I had the money. And I'm like, it was nuts. It was like, it's right.
So when
you this bank's business model.
So when you deposit
YouTubers and flood cars.
Welcome to Rad Central Bank, like where we only care about shredding and totally gnar shit. Don't even talk to me about money, bro. How fast are you gonna get in that thing?
They're all in like eyes on shirts.
So when you deposit like $500,000 into your account, is there a little bit of you that says, man, I should just disappear?
Yeah. I thought about that. I'm like, if I was a bad person, like this would be easy. Like this would, oh my God, we could do this to multiple banks. I could be a bank robber, and we'll just go to a country that doesn't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How many rad banks are there though? Like
there's at least one. There's at least one.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, you can't try this shit at like Deutsche.
Dude, I'm shocked at the price. It's still high. How much will you have into this car repaired? 1.5?
So the good thing about YouTube is that you can get a lot of stuff sponsored, and you get breaks on everything. But realistically, if I have like $1 million into it, I think that'll probably be a decent number. Now they've been trading, like a good one has been trading for like in between 1.2 and 1.6. And I think they're going to go up because, these cars are super, super rare. They only made 375 of them for the world. And I think they're due to go up. But, mine is one can say priceless and and another can say worthless. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that, but you pre-answered it. Like, I don't know if yours being the fastest is going to be a good one or not. I don't even know.
So I think so. I never care about resale value because for me, it's all about the story. Mm-hmm. I just care that I am, everyone saw that car die on social media. They saw the thing, float down the street. And for me to even take on the project, I think it's worthwhile, whether I lose money or not. But just having some hand in that car's story is worth it enough for me.
My
That's
man
pretty
here
cool.
doesn't care about $1.5 million.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Congratulations, bro.
No,
It's a loan, Woody, and the bank said, "Shaka, brah."
It's not my money. I don't care.
Exactly. It's Shaka Bank of Milwaukee. I mean, I can see where maybe you just wouldn't care at that point, but it looks like it's going to work out and be profitable in the end, right? Like, I feel like you're going to turn this around one way or another, sponsorships and everything aside, and make it profitable for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you count,
because at the end of it, you have that $1 million car.
Yeah, and it's something that for me, the knowledge of going through it on my own, it means a lot to me, and that carries a value with it as well. So there's nothing on this car that scares me. I never have to take this car to the dealer. There's nothing on this car that I can't fix in my shop. So like. Having that knowledge is also, worth something to me.
What was the biggest issue with it? Was it the smell?
So the fact that we cleaned it probably 20 or so times and there's still sand in it. There was a good, and I'm not joking, like 300 to 400 pounds of sand in that car. It's like every nook and cranny, it just had sand and salt everywhere. I mean, the biggest issue really is wiring because it's really electronically complex. So what we're doing now is I have all the wires. I have the entire wiring harness out of the car. And then we have 2 donor wiring harnesses because you can't really get this wiring harness from the dealership, from the manufacturer, because it takes like a year to get. It's 20 grand. It's a lot of money, but like for that car, it's actually not that bad. But like to get that, I just don't have that kind of time. So we have 2 donor harnesses from similar McLarens, and we are trying to splice, not splice, but we're making our own wiring harnesses and trying to put them together.
Wait. Did you say you had 2 other McLarens that were donors?
No. So we have 2 donor wiring harnesses. But I do have another McLaren that we
of course,
we're not using it as a donor. But that was another rebuild that I did.
So for those who don't know, the wiring harness is it's all the wires. It's all the wires in this big fucking bundle of wires. And at the end, they fucking turn into it. And in a car like this, and I'm talking about on a Chevrolet fucking 350, it's a lot of wires. Those are $1,000, by the way.
Yeah.
On this thing, it's gotta be. Wait, is this a hybrid car or something? Is this?
Yes.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah. So this also
you've got a battery to contend with.
Yeah. So the thing is, I also decided to take out the hybrid drive assembly because it's old technology. It's super heavy. It's like 400 pounds. And there was a real big battery fire, but like the compartment, it held it pretty well. So like when the car went in the water, things were shorting and it was like big mad. So it was bad. So when we took
that's
out
what
the
his
battery,
banker said.
We have a master technician.
Absolutely, this thing was big mad.
I just thought your car had been flooded. I didn't know it had caught on fire as well.
Then your loan officer kick flipped into the room and was like, "I'm here to save
you." Turns the chair around. Hey kids, let me wrap that shit.
He said, "Stop being pussies."
No, but it was pretty crazy. So we took out the battery, and in order, let me give you some numbers here. If I were to get a new battery from McLaren, they have like an upgraded battery, like a version 2 or 3 battery for this car. If I were to get it brand new, it's $160,000. Now, they don't have those batteries available. Like they don't have them. It's like a theoretical thing that they might have in 6 months or a year or whatever. And then I'd have to install it and hope that everything else works, like the e-motor and the hybrid drive assembly and all that stuff, which it probably doesn't. So I figured I can just delete all that, have the world's first non-hybrid McLaren P1. It'll be lighter. We'll put way more power into the engine. Like we're effectively doubling the horsepower of the engine. So I have a built motor going into this. The original engine is a 3.8 V8 with twin turbos. I upgraded the turbos. They're way bigger now. I have a 4-liter with built internals, so everything's 4.
What kind of 4-liter?
So it's the 4-liter from McLaren. It's a McLaren 4-liter. It's just more stroke. And it'll be putting out something about like 1,400 horsepower. So, with that power to weight ratio, it should get to 260, no problem.
Jeez.
What are you? I guess it did have that 400-pound battery back there, and now it doesn't. So does that change how the car brakes and handles, maybe the profile at all? Okay.
No, because the battery was right above the fuel tank, which is smack dab in the middle of the car. So you take out that weight, and it's still the coefficient of the center of gravity. It's all the same.
Dude, I have butterflies just hearing about the money getting thrown around. A new battery's like $160,000, but I did it, because it's really about the journey and the fun
because
along the way.
I went to the McLaren dealership just for shits and giggles, and I wanted to see what they would charge to fix this car, and just the bodywork alone, not counting the engine or battery or anything. The bodywork alone was $750,000.
The bodywork wasn't that bad.
The bodywork was pretty messed up. So if I wanted to get like a new,
it met my standards.
Yeah. Well,
what's the body made? First of all, what's the body made of?
Carbon fiber. Every single thing on this car is carbon fiber. The wheel wells, the things that are usually, plastic or like some cloth in regular cars, carbon fiber. The interior structure, the dash is carbon fiber. Like you look inside, it just looks like it's carbon everywhere. There's zero plastic in this car.
I bet them tires are cheap though, right?
The tires are all right. It's off the shelf. You get some whatever you get.
Jesus Christ, but look how luxurious it is on the inside.
Yeah,
dude, this reminds me of the Vipers. Like I remember the first time I sat in a Viper, and I was like, my dad's work truck is better appointed than this $80,000 hot rod. It was just like everything was manual. You had like no screens, and it was burning your left leg. It was worse than a work truck.
Does it have Apple CarPlay?
No, but that is there we go. It's basically a Viper.
Throw it in.
Yeah, exactly. Just put it in there. No, so the interior was another thing that I wanted to redo because it just looks humdrum. It's a very purpose built thing. It's more like a race car interior. Everything's black, everything's matte. So now we have, we're going to have a like the carbon fiber is going to be gloss, and then I have some brown interior going in there. Like I'm a real big fan of tan. Also because I didn't think it was that big of a challenge. I'm making the entire car exposed carbon fiber, so all the bodywork you're going to see the weave. And then I'm tinting it on top of that, so it's going to be like it's a red candy. So you're going to
look like a carbon fiber, like paintball tank. You're going to be able to see the weave.
Yes, exactly like that. But the entire car, and getting that effect. If you were to go to Koenigsegg, which is like this boutique car manufacturer that has $1 million cars, to get that effect from a car company that makes those, from the factory, it takes 600 hours just to get that effect. So me doing it in my garage, that's a lot of videos. It's a lot of videos. It's a lot of videos. So in 1,000 years, when I finish this car, I'll drop it by. You guys can drive it.
Now I have another question. How's that guy who's holding the Shaka Bra bank? Are they all good? Like, do they ever check in with the videos, see how things are going?
No. So I didn't like defraud them or anything.
No, I don't think you did either. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah.
You got your car. They get their payment.
What's crazy is that I told them, like, they knew from the get-go. I said, hey, this is the car. Most of it's underwater in this picture. And I'm buying it. It does not run.
Much like me.
Yeah, exactly. So you're about to be underwater. Yeah. It's they're totally fine with it. They're awesome. Cheering me on. They're asking me how things are going. They watch the videos. So
are you making payments on a schedule against that $500,000? Okay.
Yeah.
How much is a car payment for a wet McLaren?
That is about $6,000 a month, something like that.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Took the words out of my mouth.
It's like a mortgage. It's a mortgage on a car. Like it's basically a house that is now floating down the street.
How are you so
salt.
calm? I'm trying to remind myself I'm the same fucking moron who told Mr. Beast that he needed to be more financially conservative, and he knew what he was doing. So
I don't want to say that I know what I'm doing. But like if you look at my monthly spend, if you want to have a real heart attack, my monthly spend right now is like $85K.
That's a whole lot.
Yeah. So
this is really not.
So this has to
a
work.
big thing to you at all.
No. 6K is not really it's a drop in the bucket. And
that's headlights.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I'm not I wouldn't consider myself like rich by any means, but like it's going.
Oh, no. It's just the first $1 million of your income goes towards expenses, but you're not rich or anything. Yeah.
I'm the first $1 million. That's the hardest one.
I just live on what I make past that $1 million, and you know, I get by.
Can I just say that knowing what I know now makes me much more likely to watch your video, because I know you've got like some skin in this game.
Yeah.
Oh,
like this isn't one of those like YouTubers is like, yeah, I'm gonna do this project, maybe I'll finish. You're locked in.
I have to.
If I start on episode 1, there will be an episode 100 called "We're Done." Like because we're at it. It's got to happen, or you know, there'll be a very sad in memoriam episode. I guess we could do that too.
Well, I could just do one of those episodes where I just sit down in front of the camera. I go,
it was all a lie.
Guys,
have a dog on screen with you.
Yeah.